Tonight, no more business as usual for politically exposed persons as the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative launches an online platform to track information about beneficial owners of companies in that sector. Conundrum in the leadership of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) as group suspends party's presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso. His loyalists fire back with counter-suspension. Federal government promises to complete the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway by mid-September after it fails to meet initial deadline by the previous administration. And founder of Russian mercenary Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, buried in St. Petersburg following his death in a plane crash in Russia.
On business news tonight, Lagos ranked 5th best African city to live, work and invest in, according to latest global index report by the world's leading brand valuation consultancy, Brand Finance.
On sports news tonight, all is set for the 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier Football League to kick off on September the 9th, following the conduct of the draws in Abuja earlier today.
From Abuja, the nation's capital, federal government to pay FCT indigents over 800 million naira as compensation to allow for the construction of the second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport.
There may be nowhere to hide for politically exposed individuals who are beneficial owners of companies in the country's extractive sector, as the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, has launched an online project that will provide information about their business interests. Joining the Dots, as it is called, is a product of collaboration with other accountability organizations, and through it, anyone can easily spot conflicts of interest for further investigation. Speaking at the official launch in Abuja, the Executive Secretary of NETI, Mr. Agbonaya Oji, notes that the project will help curb corruption.
This platform for use the best interests of public interest and for humanity.
It is the official launch of an online accountability project of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, and its development partners.
In sharing information and data that will support our security agencies.
According to the Executive Secretary, the project, Joining the Dots with Politically Exposed Persons in Nigeria, will help to foster transparency in the country's extractive sector.
What Connecting the Dots is set to offer to NETI's beneficial ownership program is to strengthen our capacity to guarantee data accuracy, data efficiency, utilization, availability, and easy access to relevant, competent authorities and the private sector, including financial institutions and designated non-financial institutions.
4 years ago, NETI also launched the Beneficiary Ownership Register, which is a data bank of real owners of industries that are extracting mineral resources in Nigeria. Unlike the previous program, Joining the Dots with Politically Exposed Persons in Nigeria is expected to provide information on politically exposed persons who have interest in the extractive sector, unveil areas of conflict of interest, and verify information on beneficial owners, amongst others. NETI and its partners are hoping that the launch of the project will help to improve natural resources governance in the country.
The platform is to generate concrete results and actions that can enhance Nigeria's accountability and transparency framework for its extractive sector.
We're gathered here today because the past 12 months, budget, directorial, legislativo, has been working, assiduously with NETI, follow taxes, other partners to make sure that they bring the different types of data together so we can begin to understand who is really controlling our natural resources in Nigeria.
Nigeria's extractive industry, including the oil and gas sector, is shrouded in so much opacity, which has led to the loss of revenue for the government, a development that NATI is hoping to change with the launch of the civil society-led project.
And to party politics now, all may not be well in the camp of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, as a group loyal to the party's founder, Mr. Boniface Aniabonam, today suspended presidential candidate Senator Robbie Kwankwaso. The group cites what it describes as incompetence of the NNPP National Working Committee, the dissolution of 8 state chapters by Kwankwaso's group without due process, the suspension of Mr. Aniabonam, and consultation with President Tinubu, PDP's Atiku Abubakar, and Labour Party's Peter Obi without authorization from the board as its reasons. But in a swift reaction, the Kwankwaso group says the decision is of no effect, as it had earlier suspended Mr. Aniabonam as well as the acting national chairman, Mr. Agbo Major, and others from the party. A representative of the Kwankwaso group, Mr. Buba Galadima, explained on our program Politics Today that Mr. Kwankwaso took permission from the party before meeting with other parties.
Kwankwaso had a permission from the party to go and talk to Tinubu and talk to any other political group. So he didn't do it on his own. All of them that were expelled were called to a disciplinary committee, and they were drilled, and they accepted their sin, and it is on the basis of the acceptance of what they had done that they were recommended to the National Working Committee for expulsion. And the National Working Committee took a decision on behalf of NEC, and they knew that 21 days ago today, we wrote INEC that we are holding a National Executive Committee of the NNPP. They knew we were meeting today. INEC will be there. That the National Executive Committee will expel them. That is why they thought they will do a counter coup by 7 of them aggregating in Lagos to say that they've expelled Kwankwaso.
To infrastructure, after failing to meet previous deadlines set by former Minister Babatunde Fashola, the completion of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is now scheduled for mid-September. The Minister of Works, Mr. David Umahi, gave the new deadline while taking an inspection tour of some key federal government road and bridge projects in Lagos and Ogun State. He added that there are setbacks in completing some pedestrian bridges and underpasses along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, but the main road construction is expected to be delivered and commissioned soon. Our correspondent, Darido, reports.
It's the Minister of Works' first major inspection tour of projects in Lagos and Ogun States. The minister starts the day making his first stop at Outer Marina Road in Victoria Island, Lagos, a rehabilitated work and now already in use. He moves to the newly repaired Eko Bridge, from there to Ijora Olopa, the lagoon section of the bridge, then to Iponri in Lagos Central.
We have the Lagos-Ibadan. Lagos, I think there are 2 sections there, RUCC and Beja, actually funded from NSIA, the Nigeria Investment Sovereign Authority. So we had a meeting on Sunday. We don't have problem about the funding as such. The job will be completed by mid-September and the commissions.
He appears satisfied with the level of work done so far, but still has some concerns. Indiscriminate dumping of refuse, trading under the bridge, and bad maintenance culture are part of his observations as he moves from one public infrastructure to another.
I'm very impressed with the work, restoring back the structural integrity of the The major issue is that what happened that is costing us multi-billions will still happen if nothing is done. Part of the project is to clean up the surroundings, and then the contractor had to move the market.
Reiterating his stance on concrete technology, the minister says it's that method or no other.
The introduction of concrete roads, and this is a battle we must all win for our country, so that we can assist the Naira to appreciate. We spend quite a lot of money, importing bitumen, and most of them adulterated bitumen. So this is it. I know all kinds of arguments. We run the figures, and I believe that concrete road will still be cheaper, even at the instant cost comparison. Not to talk about 50 years free maintenance. We are not even putting that. But at the instant cost comparison, we are going to run the figures, and this is it. No job will be awarded under me henceforth without it being on concrete pavement.
The minister will be visiting more sites across the country in the coming days, a tour expected to give him a clearer picture of what's handed over to him by his predecessor, the challenges ahead, and the targets to be met. Dari Edo, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, motorists plying federal roads within Edo State are lamenting the challenges they undergo as a result of the deplorable condition of the roads. Worried about the impact of the bad roads on the movement of residents as well as state's economy, the state government is now calling for speedy action from the relevant authorities to bring relief to road users.
Benin Agbo Road. And Benin Sapele Road are some of the federal highways leading into and out of Edo State. They have something else in common, the deplorable state of portions of each of them. Residents around the Benin Sapele Road area have been outspoken over the condition of the express road for years now, sometimes giving vent to their grievances through peaceful protests.
4 or 5 years now, the road has been like this.
See how we are going to stay they did the road for 2 weeks. They still went back again.
This road, being federal government road, why will the federal government not live up to their own responsibility? And it also goes to show that in the course of their campaign or whatever, that me, as soon as I get to the seat, everybody will be for me is just a political statement.
The Benin Ekuma Auchi Road links Kogi, some other northern states, and Abuja. One of the sections currently a major challenge for travelers on this route is around Ekuma. The Benin Ifon-Owo Road is another expressway that leads to Auchi. The traffic congestion resulting from the poor condition of sections of the road bewilders motorists.
Now they go very hard. And this one are the best road those of us pass. Yes. What do you want to do now?
For the governor of the state, the deplorable state of the roads is of increasing concern.
Because we are in a situation, a crisis situation, it's like a war situation, where we cannot move within our state, because whereas we are blessed with an extensive network of federal roads, because of the lack of capacity of the federal government to maintain its roads and assets and the unwillingness to allow other people to maintain these roads, we in Edo are almost cut off, and the country is almost cut off.
The state government, however, assures residents of its commitment to building internal roads as it continues to grow the state's economy.
In part 2, after the break, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency speaks on the deplorable state of those roads, plus 67 persons now in police custody in Delta State after the force arrested them for holding a midnight gay party in a hotel in the state. Well, that's in a moment. Stay with us. You're welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Channels Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. No more business as usual for politically exposed persons as the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative launches online platform to track information about beneficial owners of companies in the sector. Conundrum in the leadership of the New Nigeria People's Party as group suspends party's presidential candidate Senator Robbie Kwankwaso, but his loyalists fired back with a counter suspension. Federal government promises to complete the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway by mid-September after it failed to meet initial April deadline by the previous administration. And founder of Russian mercenary Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, buried in St. Petersburg following his death in a plane crash. Now, in response to the Edo State government's concerns, the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has been making clarifications on the condition of the roads, saying the Benin-Ekpoma-Auchi Road is currently being dualized by the Federal Ministry of Works, but the contractor is not working at the moment. The Director of Communications and Public Relations, FEMA, Mrs. Mary Mohammed, in a correspondence with Channels Television, explained that proposals have been forwarded to the Direct Labor Unit concerning the Benin-Agbo Road and the Edo section of the Benin-Ifon Road. On the Benin-Sapele Road, FEMA notes that the Federal Ministry of Works earlier this year awarded the contract to Levant Construction Company under the NNPC Road Tax Credit Scheme, but the contractor is yet to commence work on the road. And away from infrastructure, 67 suspects have been arrested by the Delta State Police Command for alleged practice of homosexuality. The suspects were apprehended in a hotel on Refinery Road in over a local government area, where they were said to be performing a wedding ceremony of a gay couple at midnight. Parading the suspects before journalists at the Ekwan police station, the Delta State Police spokesperson, Bright Adafi, said the suspects will be charged to court.
They intercepted one Chuks Chinye, dressed, he happens to be a male, but he was dressed like a lady. Upon intercepting him, he told the policemen that he is an actor that came from Lagos State to shoot a movie here in Delta State. They brought him to the station and continued interrogating him before he now gave us a confessional statement that he belongs to the gay society and they are having a ceremony at one hotel called Tibulus Hotel along Refinery Road here in Ekpa. At about 0200 hours, that is at the midnight of 28th of August 2023, the policemen stormed the hotel where about 200 suspects were initially arrested. Majority of them all dressed like females. And the funniest part of it, or rather the amazing part of it, was that we saw two suspects dressed, one as the bride and one as the groom, as you can see. And there is a video recording where they were actually performing their wedding ceremony. After screening them, we have about 67 suspects that we are parading today. We are still investigating, and I want to assure Deltans and Nigerians that they will be charged to court soonest upon completion of investigation.
To environmental matters, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, has been clearing the air on the floods experienced in parts of the country, which it says are not as a result of the opening of the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, but a result of flash floods, poor flood channels, and inadequate drainage systems across the country. The Director General of NISA, Mr. Clement Nze, told a press conference in Abuja that, as of today, the Lagdo Dam has been closed. But even if the dam were to collapse, its impact will not go past Numan in Adamawa State.
From the records available, that even if Lagdo Dam should collapse, the impact will not pass Numan in Adamawa State. It won't even reach Taraba. That before that time, it has simmered, it has attenuated, flattened. That's what is study showed in dam break analysis. But up to time, whenever there is any atom of flooding in Taraba or in Adamawa, the answer is Cameroon has opened the dam. Yes, they opened their dam, but We have several rivers inside Nigeria that are pouring water into the River Benue. Also in Cameroon that are downstream the Lagdo Dam. That even if they don't need to open their dam, those rivers in Cameroon downstream the Lagdo Dam and also in Nigeria that are releasing water into the Benue River channel have been causing a lot of flood within that flank. There is no cause for alarm in terms of the River Benue, River Niger. What happened in Cameroon is normal reservoir operation. You must release water. That's why we collaborate seriously with the Kainji and Jeba dams, that once the flood level is at a certain threshold, like say in Niamey, we will notify the operators of Kainji and Jeba dam, the hydrologists, so that they will know that they should reduce the level, they begin to spill water.
Well, let's now head over to our Abuja studio where Victor Matthias is sitting by with more stories on the news at 10. Hello again, Victor.
Hello, Kaede. Indeed, I am sitting here with more stories. And we begin with this one, which says that indigents of the nation's capital are to receive a total of 825.8 billion naira as compensation to pave way for the construction of the second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Now, this was made known by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, after a negotiation meeting with the Minister of Aviation, Mr. Festus Keyamo, other government officials, as well as stakeholders from Jiwa, the affected community in Abuja. According to the FCT Minister, the money is to incentivize the residents to vacate the area to enable completion of the 4.2-kilometer runway project originally awarded in 2022.
The total value of what we are paying is 825,819,000 naira. 825,819,000 naira for the compensation and settlement. We are going to construct Tunga Madiaki Bridge, which will be put in the 2024 budget. 2024 budget, which has a span of 5-kilometer road. That is the bridge and that road. And then, secondly, we are going to provide a better healthcare facility that is better than what is there now. A modern healthcare facility that we provided for the community. The permanent secretaries of the Ministry of Aviation and that of FCT, Federal Capital Territory, the Royal Highness, the AMA Chairman, and the Commissioner of Public Complaint Commission will sign the undertaking, order of understanding between the agreement reached between government and Jiwa community. And we believe by the grace of God, if that is done today, and tomorrow the money is paid to them, the contractors will no longer delay. They have to move to the site immediately and commence work.
Now, still ahead on the news at 10, Lagos is ranked 5th best African city to live, work, and invest in, according to the latest Global Index report by the world's leading brand valuation consultancy firm, Brand Finance. That's some business news. Do join us again. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, to the National Assembly, where the ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives, which is probing alleged non-remittance and utilization of housing funds from 2011 till date, is summoning the Accountant General of the Federation. Chairman of the committee, Dachung Bagos, explained that the decision to summon the Accountant General was to get full information on deduction of national housing funds of Nigerian workers and remittance of same to the Federal Mortgage Bank. The Central Bank of Nigeria is also expected to appear before the committee on Thursday.
I can outrightly say that you don't have the capacity to give us the information we want. You don't, because most of the questions, you can't even give us what we really need. In as much as you are the director of it, because from all my notes, where did I write this from? You said all these monies are with the CBN. Bank figure, all the bank figures you got from CBN. So this committee will formally invite and officially invite the Accountant General to appear herself, to give and to furnish this committee with all the information required in terms of deduction and remittance of the monies, 2.5% monies deducted from Nigerian workers. So the Accountant General is to appear on Thursday.
Now, in other stories, the federal government is still defending the fuel subsidy removal, with the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Malagi, saying Nigerians will soon begin to feel the positive impact of the decision. The minister stated this when he received Governor Umar Bago of Niger State in his office in Abuja. He also expressed confidence in President Tinubu's administration to actualize his 8-priority agenda for the benefit of Nigerians.
You will agree with me that the fuel subsidy that was removed is actually in the best interest of Nigeria. He has said repeatedly that the pain of that removal will be felt temporarily before the smile, the positives of it will begin to be seen. And I'm sure, Your Excellency, the tiers of government, especially at the state level, are already beginning to feel that. Within a short time, so much money has been saved, and part of that money is already being sent to states so that the difficulties occasioned by the removal of the fuel subsidy is already being subsidized, so to say. Assorted grains have been sent to states, and we know that each state of Nigeria has received the sum of 5 billion naira in the first instance, and the FCT also got about 2 billion in the first instance. Now, Mr. President is aware that that is not enough, but is only the first necessary step that he has to take to ensure that this hardship occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal will be cushioned. Mr. President is desirous of changing the face of Nigeria. He's desirous of ensuring that the economic turnaround of this country is achieved within the shortest possible time. He's also desirous of ensuring that the image of Nigeria that has taken some bashing over the years be restored, and this ministry is in the forefront of that.
Now, the president has approved the appointment of Mr. Ebiechi Edu from Delta State as the new chairman of the board and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. In a statement by the president's spokesperson, Mr. Ajuri Ngalale, the current managing director of the commission, Mr. Samuel Ogbuku, has been retained, while former commissioner for sports in River State, Mr. Boma Iyaye, is the new executive director, finance and administration. Others are the executive director, projects, Mr. Victor Antai from Akwa Ibom State, and executive director, corporate services, Mr. Ifedayo Ebegunde from Ondo State, among others who are representing states and zones. According to the statement, the appointment takes immediate effect. And that's it from the nation's capital. The news at 10 continues in Lagos with Kaede. It's back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Victor. For more stories now, Enugu is now open for business, so says the governor of the state, Mr. Pitamba, who was a guest at the International Business Conference and Expo 2023, organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The governor says his administration is doing everything to upscale the provision of basic amenities for the people. He added that in the coming days, over 50 services will be accessible digitally, while the plan to build a Tier 4 hyperscale data center in the state is in the pipeline.
This is Ugurugu, one of the many agrarian communities in Uzuwani local government area of Enugu State. notable for its jetty waterways. That's the reason for this visit by the Nigerian Navy and Edo State government on the tradition.
We apologize with that mix-up in the report. Moving on now, the new bishop of the Lagos Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Ifedola Okukwevi, has made a case for more investment in the underprivileged in the society. According to him, the preaching of the gospel shall not just be in word, but also in action. He gave the charge during his enthronement as the Lagos diocesan. Our correspondent, Timothy Crown at Diribigbe, reports.
Right Reverend Ifedola Okukwevi is the 9th Bishop of the Lagos Diocese of the Anglican Communion. His enthronement is what's bringing the clergy within and outside the state, diocesans, friends and family together here at the First Anglican Church in Nigeria, the Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina. The Right Reverend is stepping up to this role, having been elected, confirmed and consecrated.
Elected, confirmed and consecrated into the real, actual and corporeal possession of the bishopric of Lagos with all the singular rights, dignities, honors, privileges and appurtenances thereto belonging, and place you in the episcopal seat of this Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, Lagos, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Next to his enthronement, he's handed a staff of office.
The diocesan pastoral staff, which is the symbol of your office, in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
The hall lit in joy over this new enthronement. The diocesan has its plan mapped out for the diocese, including investment in charity.
By the grace of God, every month we will look for elderly people that we can help. We will go out to look for the poor every month. We will look for 100 people that are poor, and whatever we can give, even if it is a token, we will do.
Before this role, Right Reverend Okukwevi had served as a vicar and archdeacon of Ikoyi Archdeaconry. There are promises of support for him from both family and congregants.
I've been supporting him since the day I know him, and I will not stop supporting him. Every support that God has given me to do, I will do. And I think that the most important thing is to pray for him.
We will do whatever it takes to help him, to encourage, to support, and we'll always be there for him. His family. We don't have a choice.
Bishop Okukwevi is a lecturer of evangelism, Christian spirituality, Christian theology and homiletics at the Archbishop Adetiloye Theological Seminary, Marina, Lagos. He promises transfer of his expertise here to his new role. Timothy Crown at Deribigbe, Channels Television News.
Well, let's now bring you the story on Edo State, which is being positioned as the next business destination in Nigeria. That's coming from Governor Peter Mbah, who was a guest at the International Business Conference and Expo 2023, organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Business leaders, foreign investors, innovators and diplomats are gathered at the International Business Conference and Expo 2023.
My real pleasure to welcome all you to this.
It's about Invest Nigeria, and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, organizers of the event, set the tone for the day.
This conference provides an excellent opportunity to discuss the Nigerian economy, identify investment opportunities, and interact with regulatory agencies, policymakers, government, and other stakeholders on obstacles to investment and policies to remove these obstacles.
Special guest of honor is His Excellency Peter Mba, Governor of Edo State. He speaks on the investment opportunities in the state, which include plans to grow the Enugu economy sevenfold and achieve a 0% rate in the poverty headcount index.
We knew also that this growth is not going to happen without the extensive engagement of private sector investment. We have the Enugu State Investment Development Authority, which is like a one-stop shop for investors, where you're able to get your registration, your business permits, your construction permits, and indeed your property registration done within 1 week.
He adds that Enugu is open for business in infrastructure, agriculture, tourism, technology, logistics, and more, with areas of concerns clearly attended to.
The good thing about these investment opportunities is that we've curated a number of them. So we've helped you de-risk a lot of things. Just recently, talking to my other colleagues in the southeast states, we have agreed that there is need for a common market in the southeast. We're over 27 million people. So that's the size of the market you're looking at.
Following a brief tour of the Expo Center, he once again assures of the state's readiness for investors.
Frankly, Enugu is arguably the most peaceful and secure state to live in today and do business.
It's barely 100 days since the inception of this administration, and going by the governor's bold steps, Enugu could become an investor's haven in the southeast.
And for more business stories on the news at 10, here's Anne Owaodo.
Thank you, Kayode. Hello and welcome to Business News. It's good news for Lagos. It now ranks as the 5th best African city with a huge desire among people to live, work and invest in by the world's leading brand valuation consultancy firm, Brand Finance City. A global survey conducted by the London-based company in April 2023 across 20 countries on all continents shows that Lagos came at 56.7% behind its 4 of its peers, which includes Cape Town at 62.9%, Cairo at 60.7%, Johannesburg at 59.7%, and Casablanca at 59.5%. While London is crowned as the world's best city brand in the ranking, scoring 84.6%, due to its global familiarity, while New York and Paris come second and third, garnering 83.0% and 79.7% accordingly. Business magnate Mr. Tony Elumelu has applauded some of the economic decisions taken by President Bola Tinubu, saying the private sector is encouraged by the decisions. Speaking after a meeting with the president at the presidential villa, the founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation says he believes that with time, Nigerians will benefit from the decisions taken. We head to the stock market now, where it has risen to a 15-year high today. The benchmark indicator of stocks performance broke past 66,000 points at the close of trade today. Let's hear the details from Ini John May.
Thank you so much, Anne. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, we had good news yesterday. We have better news today because the all-share index has hit a new high, surpassing its past record with just about 100 points right here, closing at 66,490.34 after going up 0.51%. The market cap is still at 36 trillion naira about that. Now let's look at the details. It's all captured in the counters. For instance, the banking counter had the Fugas leading, although UBA shared 5 kobo. But we see that the banking looking really good today, 1.63% recovered from yesterday. Oil and gas had Eternal Oil, and, you know, some of them losses marginally down, profit-taking are taking place. The consumer goods, however, 0.99%. Dangote Sugar has been doing its thing again. But today is not just for Dangote Sugar. Flour mills gained about 3 naira, and that's in spite of a 227% decline in pre-tax loss, which is captured in its half-year unaudited financial statements. Well, still making profit there. Oil and gas we've already seen right there. Now, at the end of the market, we have a very green activity chart as expected, since we have hit a new high. And of course, we have the bull. A second day, a second green day. We hope it continues. That's a stock market report. Back to you, Anne.
That's business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Kayode will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Anne. Let's now bring you more from that meeting between President Bola Tinubu and business magnate Mr. Tony Elumelu, who's applauded some of the economic decisions taken by the president.
The private sector is encouraged with the bold decisions President Bola Tinubu has taken, and we hope that in the fullness of time, Nigerians will benefit from it, because it's all about Nigerian people. It's all about youth. It's all about making sure our women are involved and empowered. It's all about making sure our youth get jobs. And I think Mr. President has this at the back of his mind. And I believe, as a private sector person, that the actions and decisions the president is taking now, in the long run, will help our people.
What specific area?
A bit of patience, you know. Rome was not built in a day, one day like.
Now, outside the country, the remains of Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, who died in a plane crash last Wednesday, has been buried in a private funeral in St. Petersburg. Here's Simon Puser with more international news and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Iraq has hanged 3 people convicted of involvement in a vehicle bombing in Baghdad that killed more than 300 people and injured hundreds in 2016. The bomb exploded as people were enjoying a night out during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. It was the deadliest single bombing in Iraq since the US-led invasion in 2003. The Islamic State group has admitted carrying out the attack. IS has been defeated and lost control of territory, but still remains active in the region. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has had his 3-year sentence for corruption suspended, but it is unclear if he will be freed from jail. The Islamabad High Court gave him bail until his appeal against unlawfully selling state gifts is heard. However, the court has also ordered the 70-year-old to be kept in custody until Wednesday in a separate case. Mr. Khan's lawyers say more than 100 charges have been brought against him since his removal from power last year. Spanish Football Federation regional leaders have called on President Luis Rubiales to immediately resign after he kissed the player Jenny Hermoso. Rubiales has been widely criticised after the incident following Spain's Women's World Cup final win. Hermoso said the kiss on her lips was not consensual. Earlier, Spanish prosecutors opened a preliminary investigation into whether the incident amounts to a crime of sexual assault. It comes after Rubiales' mother, Angeles Bejar, locked herself in a Spanish church and went on hunger strike in protest of the treatment of her son. Tropical storm Idalia has strengthened into a hurricane as it barrels towards Florida, with officials warning of potential destruction and risk to life. Forecasters say it will intensify into an extremely dangerous major hurricane before slamming into the state's western shoreline on Wednesday. Much of Florida, including the heavily populated area around Tampa, will be affected by the severe weather. High winds, heavy rain and potentially deadly storm surges are all forecast.
We've seen this before with something like Hurricane Michael that continued to gather strength. So this is going to be a major impact, and Floridians should expect that this storm will be a major Cat 3+ hurricane.
Meanwhile, DeSantis was loudly booed at a vigil for victims of a racially motivated shooting. He was heckled in Jacksonville, where hundreds gathered to remember the victims of the attack. Mr. DeSantis has loosened gun laws in the state after targeting what he calls woke ideology. It comes days after 21-year-old Ryan Christopher Palmiter fired 11 rounds at 52-year-old Angela Carr, who was sitting in her vehicle, before entering the shop and shooting another 2 people dead. In a world first, scientists say an 8-centimetre or 3-inch worm has been found alive inside the brain of an Australian woman. The string-like structure was pulled from the patient's damaged frontal lobe during surgery in Canberra last year. The 64-year-old had for months suffered symptoms like stomach pain, a cough and night sweats, which evolved into forgetfulness and depression. She was admitted to hospital in late January 2021, and a scan later revealed an atypical lesion within the right frontal lobe of the brain. The UK's Transport Secretary has warned the air travel disruption that hit the UK on Monday is set to last for several more days. The technical issue with air traffic services was fixed within hours, but many aircraft and crew are now out of place. More than a quarter of planned flights in and out of the UK were cancelled on Monday. And the rap star Eminem has asked aspiring Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy to stop using his songs. The letter comes more than a week after the biotech entrepreneur delivered an impromptu performance of Lose Yourself at the Iowa State Fair. Eminem made the request via performing rights organisation BMI in a letter dated the 23rd of August. Mr. Ramaswamy is vying to unseat Donald Trump as the presumed 2024 Republican nominee. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Thanks, Simon. Let's begin the top news from our sports center in Lagos, where the draws for the 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier League was conducted earlier today in Abuja, with some exciting fixtures kick-starting the league on September the 9th. As you can see on my screen, of course, Rivers United will be up against Remo Stars, and of course, Sunshine Stars against Kano Pillars. Kwara United will travel all the way to Katsina for that encounter, and of course, 3SC against Plateau United. Lobby Stars will be up against Atlant, and of course, 8 matches will be played in that particular opening day of the encounter. Away from all of this, Liverpool defender Virgil van Dijk has been charged by the English FA with acting in an improper manner after he was sent off at Newcastle United on Sunday. Van Dijk was shown a red card following his foul on Newcastle's Alexander Isak in the first half of Liverpool's 2-1 victory at St James's Park. That's it on Sports. Coyote is back to you.
And the main news again. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative today launched an online platform to provide information about politically exposed individuals who are beneficial owners of companies in the extractive sector. And that's the news at 10 for tonight, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'm Coyote. Good night.